Hello, welcome back to Karagor Studios Remnant Lunar Archon Session 19. I'm getting better at this.
We're here.
We are. We're here. We're late by like 30 minutes because we had 17 million technical difficulties, and I may try to
At
swap
McDonald's
over to...
Wi-Fi.
Unfortunately, not McDonald's Wi-Fi, or fortunately. I will probably look at over the next week, because we are not meeting next week, look at seeing if maybe I can get OBS Studios or Streamlabs, whichever one it was that works better, to work and use that, because that would be nice to not have to deal with Twitch Studio, because Twitch Studio is technically still in beta, and you can tell it's got a lot of problems, honestly, and there's so much less functionality, because I know that other people with plugins and stuff for OBS have like basically slideshows going in part of their stuff at a time, so I can make it where like it'll slide through and like sync with your character picture come up, and then like your stats and maybe a little blurb about you, and I could do the same thing with NPCs so that people can kind of remember or see pictures of the NPCs as as the episode goes through. I think it'd be really neat, so I may look into doing that. Yeah, we're not meeting next week. I'll be out of town, and then we'll reconvene, ideally, the week after, unless something goes terribly wrong, or something comes up, because those things do happen. But for the time being, we have today. In-game, it is currently 11:25 a.m., Wednesday, March the 8th, the year 417 post-Schism. It is the first quarter moon, First quarter, it looks like a half moon on the picture. But it says quarter. It's a half moon. I don't know why it says quarter. It's a half moon. Half moon coming up. Doodly-doo. Oh, that's why. It's because it's first quarter, and then, the half. Or like halfway through is when it's a full moon, and then it's the last quarter when it's fading. That makes sense.
Waxing is the correct term.
Yes, waxing. I know
No. It's waning. Never mind. Ha ha ha.
I think waxing is when it comes up.
Yeah, waxing is when it's growing, and then waning is when it's waning.
Yes.
Waxing is when it's waxing.
As well as like evening crescent is when it starts, and then there's like the waning gibbous.
Mm-hmm.
And other, fun
and the
stuff.
waxing gibbous.
But regardless, you currently have a half a moon in the sky. Wax on, wax off. 100%, Chris. But yes, it is that time of the year. Doodly-doo. So technically, y'all had basically 2 weeks of pay left, but y'all solved the problem of the missing people in a day. Roughly 32 hours, I think, if my math is correct. Speaking of which, y'all ended up going into the mountains. Quick recap the whole thing, I guess. Went to the mountains, found the temple that was being used as a commune by a Lamia and her various minions, mostly consisting of jackal wares. You fought through, freed all the prisoners she had, and then spent some time looking around through the rest of the temple, the places she had not taken. You fought a big acid monster. You spoke to, and still have, I believe currently Maverick is carrying, a sentient magical crystal named Claude, who seems fairly ecstatic to not be stuck in the room anymore and to be riding with y'all. You went through a couple of different traps that you found, including whether or not it's a trap or served a different purpose. This room where this statue seemed to be playing these sets of bone pipes that would frighten anyone that heard them. Y'all did successfully stop the sound and take the pipes, which are currently in the possession of Cedar, who has tried to play several times and has rolled less than a 5 every single time, I believe. But she can play woodwind instruments. So she has the Pipes of Haunting, which should be equipped, and I will actually need to add an action system to that later on. I will do that at some point, maybe during the break or something. Doodle doo. Someone is not signed in. Ethan. Open
Still
Fantasy
trying to,
Grounds.
it's still trying to connect.
Oh, okay. Y'all went through a room that was trapped, filled with webs and fire, but didn't get affected by it at all as you pulled the levers from outside the room, watched it take place. Did that with the other two of the three levers, finding that all of them did the same thing, and it seems like the trap was just getting you to pull lever of any variety. You then went down the hallway to the effectively end of the path, finding a pentagonal room with three skeletons and shattered spears. The walls covered in draconic script that you found the most notable writing to be, "Behold the divine spear that by six chosen, Aeon may never return." Ruminating on that a few minutes and looking at the various keyholes in the vault door, you found there were 4 keyholes that you determined to be about the size and shape of what a blade would fit into. Having that confirmed by Claude, as he mentioned that there are 4 swords that are used to open the Divine Vault, that he saw 2 of them be taken out through his pathway by one of the priests that served here. There were 4 different gemstones, being a... See, the green one is a serpentine. The yellow one is a chrysolite. The red one is a vanadinite. And the light blue one is an angelite. You tried to get into those 4 by effectively faking the locks via various types of magic and or thievery. But each time you tried, each one responded with a different elemental effect, pushing you away, trying to damage you, and keeping you from unlocking the door. After spending a few minutes struggling with that, trying to figure out what, if anything, you should do, you then left, went to this old library, the last room that you seem to be able to get into, as far as you know. You found an old library that didn't have a ton in it. There was a scroll that turned out to be a scroll of silence, as well as a small fairy dragon, a yellow fairy dragon named Izu, who enjoyed spending time with y'all, playing pranks, not enjoying being frightened by the Pipes of Haunting, and then effectively told you he was gonna hang around and you'll never know if he's gone. After that, it was late in the evening, so we effectively stopped there. I moved you all into the main hallway, but I don't even know how much more you're going to do in the commune. And we leave us there at, effectively, do you want to do anything else in the commune before you return to town with the various people that had been kidnapped by Lacephine?
According to my map, I don't know if everybody else looks like that, but it looks like there's a path that we didn't take up where all of the, um, I guess, people are.
It's true.
So should we head back in that direction to explore that room above it?
Where? What?
In the northwest end, to the east. I'm sorry, to the west of Lacephine's lair and to the north of the kidnapped people's quarters.
Everything is in darkness.
But can you see a doorway? You should be able to see a doorway.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking.
Up and left.
Doug is just gonna casually start walking in that direction.
Like all the way up and left, or up and
Yeah.
left from where we are?
All the way up and left.
Thicket is still on Doug's shoulder, so he will. Where? I can't find my token. End up wherever Doug is. I don't know where I'm going.
That's all right. You'll get there at some point.
That's the end.
You found him. These appear to be the quarters where Lacephine's favorite people. A room filled with the smell of incense, and without any level of disarray, kept fairly clean and orderly. 4 clean beds at the north end, and to the southeastern side there's a dressing area and seems to be a small workout space. There's also an open doorway to the west.
Doug just scouts the room, doesn't see anything potentially eye-catching, so then starts going to the west.
All right. Checking over to the west, you find bathrooms. That's it, they're bathrooms.
And there's nothing like on the walls or anything.
Nope, not really. No paintings, no marks, just a clean set of old bathrooms.
What is this parchment to the left?
That would be a towel, and the bucket of water next to it to wash your hands and feet with.
Well, being that I am not voted as most charismatic, would someone want to lead the charge in gathering people?
There's
Ron
still
had been
people here. I
following-
thought everyone had left.
No, they were waiting because we asked them to so that we could escort them.
Oh.
Correct. Which actually y'all would walk pretty much past them, seemingly everyone about ready to... Actually, not even about. Everyone ready to go and seem to be waiting on your return, perking up as you enter the room within those quarters. With Duel, your person y'all interacted with the most. Where are you?
It was Kronk, right?
It was Kronk, you are correct. Interacting with the fairly jovial Kronk. He talked to y'all and seemed to have everyone pretty well packed and ready to go. With Kanye, the half-orc, I believe Kanye was a human. Kanye helping the other half-orc who was wounded, Wilmond, helping him walk, as he does still seem to be fairly beat up. He doesn't seem to be healing as fast as you all did. Oh, and session, take a hero point.
Garon had been following just to make sure that Doug didn't get himself in trouble again. And once Doug seems satisfied, then as he's asking for help, he'll, Garon will say, yeah, if we're done, I mean, we can't really solve that one thing, so I think it makes perfect sense. We'll get them back, and then we'll just make a note of this place, mark it on our map, so to speak, and maybe we can protect that room in some manner. Not sure exactly, but hopefully that'll be it. So, yeah, I'll get them ready. Let them know you're ready, and we'll all get going.
All right. If you want, we can role play it, but they would all be ready to walk with y'all if you wanted. Is there anything you would all like to do here before you leave? And you can't come back. It's not like a video game where you leave and boom, you can never return. It's not a restricted level. You can always y'all could turn this into your base if you wanted. That would just take effort that y'all would have to put in, effort and time and setup. But like y'all can do things. Places exist.
Would also take lots of money.
It would take lots of money to. The biggest thing would be staffing it in a way that it would be maintained because it is a fairly large place.
Yeah. Personally, if I got, if I would suggest a player base, it'd be something a bit smaller.
A guild house or something, maybe.
Doug is still a little suspicious of Claude and the sand, so he's going to run over to that room. Well, he's first going to tell Thicket on his shoulder that, hey, I'm going to go check the sand room once more and empty all the sand to make sure there's no keys hiding in the sand.
Thicket nods.
All right, you can move yourself over there if you'd like. So you're just gonna try and like shovel out all the sand with your hands.
Yeah, Doug's kind of curious as to why, the concentration was on like a sand castle instead of, the door.
All right, digging through it. It would take you a few minutes, but something you could definitely do. There's no skill check involved to shovel sand. But over a couple of minutes going through, you manage to effectively pull all the sand out of this stone basin and find that it is just an empty stone basin. Looking into it, you don't see, there are no markings on the bottom, there's no button, no lever, nothing that you can find. It's just a basin full of sand.
All right. Curiosity satisfied.
That was easy.
These doors are too small.
They're just restrictive, is all. All right. Is there anything else you would like to do before you head out? Any questions, comments, concerns? I believe.
Where are the Keyblades?
Who are you asking? If you're asking me, Micah, I'm not going to answer.
All
you.
powerful DM.
In Vacuo, I'll give you that much. They're on the continent of Vacuo.
Give me the cheat codes.
I have left, right, up, down, BA start. Unfortunately, you're gonna have a hard time finding those buttons in this game.
Do I have to be a certain distance when performing those?
Yes, you have to try and clip yourself between the between Lacevine's room and the vault, and then by doing that, it'll clip you into the vault itself. Getting out is a whole different ordeal, and you kind of have to kill respawn in order to do that. But this is a hardcore mode game, so there's no really respawning mechanics involved.
Taking diligent notes.
Did Thicket take the Circlet of Blasting?
I don't think it was mine to take necessarily. I think it was something that we were waiting for it to be like for everything to be distributed.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we long resting before we leave, or we're just leaving, right?
If you were to long rest, you have to wait till the next day again. It is currently 11:35 in the morning.
So then no, I'm gonna.
It's
okay,
brunch time.
Then okay, so I used one of the gems, so I will keep the bracelet of the other two remaining gems, and I will say that unfortunately none of this other stuff really is too magical. The Raven statue, Cedar can have it once.
Though it's currently not with you, you sent that back toward town.
Oh, I sent that with someone? Okay.
You didn't send it with someone. You turned it on and used Animal Messenger to send it.
Raven flew away.
Yep, it flew away and has not returned.
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so yeah, Yeah, so I'm gonna say, okay, so who wanted this? It's useful for like ranged attacks. It's a good spell. You've seen Moretta use it before. So not this
It's
item.
very
but this spell.
excitedly waving his two front legs.
I don't know how you're going to use this in spider form, but all right. I'll hold on to it for you when you're done being a spider.
Doug just kind of reaches out his hand and is like, I can be the hands.
I'll look to Spider Thicket and hope for some kind of, like, leg wave.
Still, like, excitedly waving his front legs towards the circlet.
All right, well, I'm going to hand it to Doug then, because...
All right. Doug currently has the circlet of blasting then. Presumably we'll give it to
Thicket, like, full body hops onto the circlet and just, like, wraps around it.
Can, like, Doug wear it as, like, a lapel?
Wear the circlet or wear thicket?
The circlet.
Circlet is like a hat.
It's like a crown almost. Or a tiara.
My question still stands, I guess.
Like slide it
You
up
hook
over
it on your
onto your shoulder, or like what
front
do you
pocket.
mean?
Yeah.
To which one? The front pocket or the sliding it up your shoulder?
I mean, I have a jacket and a robe, so I'm sure I could finagle it somehow.
Sure. Where? You still haven't answered that part. Is it on your shoulder? Are you like trying to clip it to your shirt? On your head? Like where are you putting it? I don't understand.
Doug's gonna put it on one of his horns around his head.
Okay, just hanging off of one of his relatively small horns. Okay.
Correct.
Cool. And Thicket hanging on it. Like sitting in it like a hammock almost.
Got his 8 legs just like bear hugging it.
No. Alright, if that's everything, you all begin the trek back toward Keenite.
What did that circlet do?
It basically lets you cast. What's the word? It lets you. It lets you cast Scorching Ray once per day with a fixed attack bonus. So even
Long range fire.
Yeah, it's a long range fire. +5 to hit. So it does get less useful as you get like further and further along, but it also does not require attunement, I believe. So you just get to use it if you want.
So potentially Thicket and I could double team and cause 2 circles of blasting, right?
No, it's once per day for the item, not once per day per user.
I tried.
You did. Unfortunately,
No
the power comes from the
TBK
item.
today.
Yeah. But yeah, so as you all leave, so Thicket seems indisposed for a couple hours. Who is going to lead for the first couple hours? Because I believe Thicket can be a spider for 2 hours.
Or an hour.
An hour. So in that
Can I
case...
Double
based on
check
the-
that actually.
Yeah, if that's the case, based on the time, you have 45 minutes.
Let me see. Number of hours equal to half your druid level down. So currently, since we haven't long rested yet, it's still 3, which would be 1 hour.
All right, so I guess for the first section, y'all want Cedar to lead or someone else?
Probably Cedar.
Yeah, Doug's not very perceptive.
Cedar rolled...
I still have perception.
19, 24. Well, sure, but you can't convey any of that information to anyone else.
I could if I needed to. I'd just swap out.
You begin your 8-hour trek back to Keenite. I'll move it ahead just we'll say 1 o'clock for the first couple hours, and Thicket eventually does return to his cat form. Do you get off of the horn and circlet before you transform?
Yes.
Okay.
He very reluctantly makes a little web and strings his way down. to the ground.
And transforms and presumably takes the circlet then.
And my icon is still a spider. Or token.
It doesn't look like it on my side.
On my page. Okay, well, now the token is right. And it took a bit for the death indicator to
That's
switch
'cause
back to
I manually
the
did them.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know why it wasn't functioning right. And I will throw the circlet of blasting into your inventory. Enjoy.
yay!
Woo!
Alright. As you
Range.
continue, with this fairly large group of people, I believe, including y'all, you have a total of 22 people, I think. Moving along, you don't have any horses, no carts. People aren't carrying that much. It appears people grabbed effectively the bare minimum supplies, things that they personally owned and want to bring back. You seem to have the understanding as the two women that owned the exotic animals. They did feed them before they left, and sounds like they or others are going to come back to retrieve supplies that were brought here or stolen, retrieve the animals, etc. At a later point, most likely the next day. Doodly-doo.
For very important aesthetic reasons, Thicket puts the circlet of blasting as like decoration on top of his straw hat,
Wonderful.
As, like,
Collapsing,
people
but we
do with
love it.
ribbons.
Mhm.
He just
It's
circles
called
it over
fashion.
the straw hat.
It is the second most clashing outfit choice thus far.
What does a circlet of blasting look like?
So I think the initial picture, or at least the initial description, it does have a description, but the description is wrong because I described it differently. So this one, the note says it was made of gold and has a stylized sun symbol with a large cut stone at the center. I thought that was boring, so I described this one as it is a copper circlet inlaid with 3 garnets.
Probably still looks good.
Yeah,
There's not much in his outfit for it to clash with.
that's true. Would actually lean pretty well with the brownish red color of the oxidized copper. Would work pretty well with his hat, actually.
And just so you know, Doug no longer needs the robe for the sheath since he has one, so it is now tied around his waist.
Good to know. Doesn't make it look that much better, but still good.
Still good.
Let's see. As the time goes on, I'd have Thicket and Cedar continue to roll survival checks, but I'm not even going to bother. You have a +7. The odds of you getting lost are exceedingly small. So instead, we're
Let
just
me
gonna
roll anyway.
Sure.
Just
roll them.
what?
Roll 3 or 1, whatever.
Perception?
Yeah. Or survival, I suppose. Perception's good too. It's the same bonus, but technically it would be survival.
Survival, all the way at the bottom.
Yep, you don't get lost. It'll matter more once you'll enter forests and mountains and stuff where it's harder to get around, but a desert is hard to get lost in. However, Thicket would be the first to notice, but it wouldn't be long before everyone else sees as well. Upon leaving, stepping outside into effectively this small, almost ravine in the rock, stepping out, climbing down these switchbacks off on the edge of the mountain of this sandstone mountain range that you find yourselves upon. Thicket would notice first. Everyone else would as well. The crack of thunder in the distance. And though the day is for the most part clear, there are a few clouds. What you see in the distance off to the... Let me pull up the map so I know which direction it is. And here, in case y'all want to see the map of Vacuo. There you go. Have fun. you see off in a very slightly south but largely west direction, right about here, you see this storm, relatively small storm, and over a few moments, seeing the cracks of thunder, being able to see the clouds on either side of this. Actually, it'd be a little bit closer. It's there roughly about one, somewhere between 50 and 100 miles away from you. Hard to tell, but that direction. This storm, and it takes you a few moments to properly notice. But as Thicket, Garand, and Cedar's eyes are drawn to it, you notice this extremely tall, or at least you'd assume tall, figure. It doesn't look humanoid necessarily, but something very tall is moving within the storm.
Said something's moving inside the storm.
Yep, something very, very big.
Guys, I see something really big over there.
I think we might want to not go towards that. Maybe go the opposite way.
Yeah,
That is
I don't know about any of you, but I don't
good
think
idea.
that we can handle this like that.
It is a different direction than where you need to go, and the townspeople wish to go to Kenite up here. Roughly a day's travel, but you do note it, you do see it. This large being moving in this storm. Taking in the sight, sounds like you all... What's that?
Can I squint and try and see if I can make out what it is?
Make a perception check. That will be a very difficult DC.
Okay. Can we pretend it helps that I have cat vision?
You can pretend that, sure.
Can Thicket get on my shoulders to add a bonus?
No.
Can I throw Thicket very far to get it to...
I mean, at that point, you're
Give
just
him
throwing
bonus.
Thicket to the storm, and for one, I don't think it can throw 100 miles, but for two,
He will fight you.
he will then be going toward the storm, which y'all seem to be interested in not going towards. So actually, yeah, with the 26th, it's high enough. It's hard to tell exactly what it is, but as you squint, you can tell it is exceedingly large. It seems to be a four-legged creature. You can make out a slightly wider body, about halfway up. That seems to be wider, with these long, what you assume to be a neck, stretching up toward the clouds. Not all the way
It's a
to
reverse
it.
giraffe.
Not really reverse, more like giraffe-shaped, actually. As you would kind of make that connection. It does look like a humongous-sized giraffe, almost, walking through the storm.
That is not what I thought it was going to be.
What did you think it was going to be?
Cheyenne immediately said giraffe when it was on four legs because I
Aw.
think because her sister loved giraffe animal crackers, but
Wonderful.
yes.
Smart girl.
I
It's
thought
a
it was gonna.
Brachiosaurus.
I thought it was gonna end up being like an Elder Tempest or something.
Nah, it's not an Elder Tempest. That's something else. But you do see this extremely large creature in the storm.
Does it look reasonably enough like a giraffe to assume that it might be a giraffe?
If it's a giraffe, it is far larger than any giraffe has ever been.
Okay.
Like,
It's Giraffimus Prime.
have you been to a city? Because it is as tall as like a 30-story building.
It's giraffe, but with King Kong genetics.
Sure. Giraffacon. You see the Giraffacon. Giraffetimus Prime.
Well, I tell the party what I've witnessed. It looks unnaturally large to be a regular giraffe. So, based on its size and the fact that I don't think I've ever seen anything look like that and that big, I'm gonna assume it's probably something that is capable of killing us. Is there no way that we can just like what's the term? English.
It's not in your way if that's what you're talking about. It is an entirely different direction.
Okay. We're not going towards it?
No.
Where are we?
Y'all are going northwest up to here. It's out here.
Okay. So it's just there.
Yes.
And
it's
okay.
It seems to be walking. Like you see the legs move, but from this distance, it's really hard to tell what direction it's even moving in.
Okay. I was gonna ask, but
Yeah, but it's
whatever it is, we could probably just keep going and deal with it after we drop off all of these people.
Doug just kind of sits there and ponders and is like, but we have people here, like, there's 30 of us, right?
Yes, and I'm not looking forward to making sure that they all stay alive if we were to end up in combat.
Then again, I do remember...
I have 2 spells.
Yeah, you're right. Also, Ultrathel can shoot light, so let's let him deal with it.
Exactly. You know what? It might be Ultrathel. It's possible. I saw him turn into a big owl. I did see that, right?
You did. You all saw that.
Okay.
It came down in the form of an owl.
Wanted to double check.
When you all fought the wounded Grim that he shot out of the sky, as he finished fighting it, he seemed to fly down in this giant owl form, effectively giving you a nod and then flying away.
Who knows? It could be Ultrathel. But we should probably check in the city first.
Alright, as you continue your walk, the other townspeople seeing it and worriedly continuing to walk with you, seeming to not like the idea of something that large wandering the desert. You all do safely, effectively following the edge of the mountains here. Over the time, you don't have any issues. No random encounters, nothing rolled. As you slowly approach Keenite, and as you arrive, the people disperse, heading to their own houses, and you actually hear some townspeople notice and run over to and greet the ones they had believed were missing.
Aww.
As you watch these reunions, the guards letting you in, giving a nod of respect as you bring these people home. You walk into town, and slowly, effectively everyone separates from you. The only one that would stay with you would actually be Krunk. You said you wanted to go talk to Ultrathel, yeah? I should probably go with just, let him know everyone who's gone and everything. Or everyone who's back.
I'm pretty sure that he's gonna fail, but he's going to use a hero point and try to sense motive on Krunk.
Insight check? Make an insight check on Kronk.
Yeah, I was making a 3rd edition character recently, so I apologize. Thank you.
I figured. Thankfully, I know enough about the different systems to translate. Yeah, go ahead and make an insight check. As you heroically look to him and try and judge his reasoning for following you. With a total of 17, as you look to him, eyeing him a moment, he seems to be quite genuine. There's no sense of dishonesty coming from him.
He had told us earlier that he was he used to be a guard or something, right?
I believe he mentioned, if I remember correctly, that he was actually a miner.
Oh.
He actually was one of the managers at one of the mines around Keenite. Because Keenite, technically, this portion of the mountain range belongs to Keenite. Let me pull that back. Yep. Come on. Effectively, this portion of the mountain range belongs to Keenite, and is used for different mining and stuff because there are lots of materials within the mountains themselves. So there are several mining camps spread throughout that area. And he mentioned that he was a manager at one of them, or is a manager at one of them. Yeah, but you get no sense of dishonesty from him.
It doesn't seem like he's trying to, what's the word? Find a way to, get access to Olderthal for nefarious purposes.
Make an insight check. Seems to be pretty honest. He hasn't displayed any ounce of dishonesty or shifty movement or intentions in the entire time that you've known him. Granted, it's still only a few hours, but he seems to be fairly almost a gentle giant of sorts with how large he is. Because if I remember correctly, Kronk is the half-orc. Let me pull that up. So now I can't remember.
All right, I gotta put my eldest to bed. It's like 9:30.
Yep.
Here, so I'll be right back. But that's good enough for Garon because Garon's unwise. So anytime that fail or succeed, if he believes him, he believes him.
And I'm not going to tell you whether or not you fail or succeed. You rolled the amount that you rolled, and this is the response. Yes, Kronk is an orc. He is a full-blooded orc, actually. And he seems to be a fairly gentle giant. There hasn't been any malice, any dishonesty, any instance of those in the time that you've seen him. And he is giving a tusked smile as he says this and looks around at his home.
Well, even if Thicket isn't super sure if he believes him or not, Thicket still has come to the conclusion that if anything should happen, they should be able to handle it.
All right. Over the couple minutes as you have this discussion, as you walk forward, you actually met at the base of the wall by the halfling woman that I need to grab the name for because I don't remember off the top of my head. What did I name you? Yada, that's a random other note. Agriculture subsidies.
Jeffrey.
No, it's a female halfling.
Jeremy.
It's a female halfling.
Jade.
Jeffredine.
No.
Jemima.
Julie.
I wasn't gonna make it a J name. I could have. And now I'm
Joanne.
wondering, can I find... Where are you?
Jefferdine is with a G.
Georgette.
Gertrude.
Tisk, where did I... Because I could
Ileana.
have sworn
Georgia.
that I took,
Granilda.
that I noted the name.
Hey,
Uh,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Don't fall in.
Or do.
I wasn't planning on it.
I do not... Okay, so I don't know where my notes are. So, Sure, Geraldine. Is the half
Nice.
woman. Hey, welcome back. We got your message. I guess I should wait for the person that sent the message to come back.
Message?
Oh, Christopher. Yeah, we got this raven flew in and spoke to Uldrathel. And then it turned into a statue.
Oh.
All right, well,
Who sent the raven?
we'll pick that back up. Thank you so much. He's just going to bend over and get it like it's no big deal. Like this happens every
She
day.
does not have it in her hand. It's back up with Uldrathel. He wanted to keep a hand on it.
Oh, okay, my bad. I misunderstood.
Yeah, but this silver raven showed up and told him to be ready for your return.
Did I say anything else?
Not that I remember, but Mike is going to look at the message. Because we did type it out. Do. Where's the button? Where's the thing? Scrolling up through messages. Where did I write this? Yeah, da. So I can't find it. Chris, do you remember if there was anything else that he said, or just to be ready for your return? That's the only part I remember.
I will message you.
Oh boy. Lore is happening.
See, this is why I should pin anything that might come up. Oh, that was it. Nothing else of consequence. Just that y'all are gonna be on your way. You six coming up then?
Does it sound like she truly believes that the rest
Insight.
was not of consequence?
Insight.
Nat 20.
She's lying.
Side eye.
Who are you side-eyeing?
Her.
She will see you. Glance. She's gonna make a straight wisdom check. She seems to maintain her composure and gives you a smile. Yes, nothing to be worried about. She glances over to Garand.
Doug recognizes Thicket's glare and doesn't quite understand.
Side-eyeing Garand.
But doesn't quite understand why Thicket is, giving these eyes. So can he do an intimidation check on Geraldine?
An intimidation check, you said?
Yeah.
Try and look threatening. Sure, go ahead and make a intimidation check.
So wild.
Any other question? At least that's all that Eldrathel told me. If you have any other questions, probably be best run by him, actually.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening, but we'll go on up to Ultrathal. Thank you so much.
And,
I don't know.
yes, he and Josiah are waiting for you. They figured you'd be back this morning sometime. Can I guide you up there?
Ika's just still suspiciously like glancing between her and Garan.
Doug just kind of looks down at Thicket and is like, is there something in their teeth? Like, what's going on?
Thicket whispers to Doug, I think there's something that Garan knows between her and him that they're not telling us. They're acting weird.
I mean, she did say her name was Geraldine, but I don't remember that being her name initially.
How dare you?
Exactly. It's so suspicious.
Maybe I'll ask Garan what his name is.
That's a good idea.
Hey, Garan, what's your name?
Garond Evenstar?
Goddess.
Or how is it spelled? Hello?
Garrond, as it's been. Evenstar, Evenstar.
Have you ever thought about changing it?
I suppose, yeah. I guess I have.
Listen, I've got work to do. Are you gonna come up or not? I'd like to escort you, but if y'all want to go on your own, I can let you go on your own. I don't have a problem with that. But I have to get work done. I have work to do. Because you said you were coming back with the people, and I'd like to go make sure everyone's accounted for.
I think that should be fine, ma'am.
Hi, Kronk.
Yes.
Hello. Hey, Geraldine.
And I think talking to Udrathel now would be a good idea.
Does Kronk seem to trust Geraldine?
Make an insight check. Because you haven't incited Kronk yet. If you already had, I would have used your previous roll, but you haven't had one yet. Insight Kronk. The DC is low. Don't know why I'm telling you that.
Well,
I've told you that.
be a hot second. I figure out how to pull up. Oh no.
Did you lose your character sheet again?
Yes, and then the whole system froze.
Yeah, it happens.
Ugh. Okay.
I think you can do it from the party sheet.
Yes. Yeah, I just had to figure out where the party
Cool.
sheet was.
Top right, picture of people.
Yes. Insight. Ugh.
Cat noises.
Oh. Nope.
I mean, what's your insight? Was it how he feels about Geraldine?
Yeah. Does Kronk seem to mistrust Geraldine?
Kronk's a hard one to read. That toothy smile's really making it difficult. He smiled at you. He smiled at her. Who knows?
Smiles everywhere, man.
Smiles, man. toothy smiles. He's an orc too. Whether or not you're racist
What does
or not
it
is
mean?
up to you. But you know.
Wow, Kronk, have you used the Wand of Smiles recently? Because
What's that?
you're smiling a lot.
What's that? I mean, I assume it makes people smile, but I'm not really. I don't know much about magic items, so
You know, I don't either, so just ignore it.
okay. Do y'all climb up to Uldrathel's? Or to the Church of Erebus and then to Uldrathel's, I suppose?
We gotta climb.
Yes, it's a vertical wall as part of this town. Part of this town is a set of staircases and ladders and a couple of, I'd say like elevators, but they seem to mostly be lifts for materials and stuff rather than for people. And partway up the wall is the Church of Erebus that you've been to a couple of times, and is the only way that y'all have been taught to go to Uldrathel's is to go through the church and then up some staircases within the church to the top of Udric Keep, which is the official name for the wall. And the Lord's domain, effectively. The building, effectively. Quote unquote. The location within the wall that Uldrathel and his people are in. Do y'all climb the wall then?
Yes, so.
Alright, you take a few minutes as you go up, you enter into the somewhat familiar and new to you Gambit, a fairly dark room. You do see it is, once again, Matthew the secretary is there. He does seem to be reading your book. As you walk in, this fairly large half-orc man in these dark robes wearing the symbol of Erebus, which I believe I've described before as this black holy symbol with a skull upon it and a wreath of flowers around it. I believe a wreath of flowers, unless I feel like that's not right. I know there's a skull on it, but I'm drawing a blank on what else is there. I'll look at my notes later. Actually, wait, no, I have it right here. No, I was right. It is a skull with shining eyes and a wreath of flowers around it.
Yay, we remember things.
This fairly dark room. A couple of candles lit at his desk. And he looks up to you all, wearing glasses that you hadn't seen him wearing before. Hello, everyone. You returned. That was surprisingly quick.
I can walk pretty fast.
That's impressive for someone so small.
We also gained some help. Apparently, your lad here, he's one of your miners, and
Oh yes, I don't believe I've
so
met you,
that was a
but,
bit of help. And then
somewhat familiar face. I think I've seen you in here a couple of times. Yeah, I'm not the most
Around.
faithful, but I'm here.
Mm-hmm. You know.
and
Yes.
and then this fella here, this is this is Gambit.
Pleasure to meet you.
He's inquiring about participation and joining our
The messengers.
adventuring group. The messengers. Yes, correct.
Mhm.
So somewhat of a trial period, as it were.
Lovely. Well,
But,
Gambit, if you need anything from the Church of Erebus, feel free to come in. I'm here most of the time. I don't sleep here, but most of my waking hours are spent here, helping anyone who happens to have needs in the church.
Okay, well,
Should you
I'll
have-
do that if I ever need help.
Of course. Anyone is welcome here. If you are coming to speak to Ultrathel, I do know that Josiah was waiting for you. You can head up those stairs, same as before, and he points off to the stairs to the side that you'd walked up the previous times.
Alright, well, Grant's continuing to look at the two Doug and Thicket, like, confused, like, did they get some kind of heat stroke on the way back or something? Like, asking about my name and how to spell it and weird stuff that they're doing. So he's just trying to make sure that they're okay, and like if it looks like they're gonna faint or something, like he wants to be ready to catch them, but otherwise he's like just kind of like what the heck, and he's gonna be going up.
All right, as you walk up the stairs, Matthew does return to his book. I need Garan to roll me a D100. You're looking to get a 20 or lower. It's okay if you don't, but for the purposes of this, that's what you're hoping for. All right. You continue up the familiar staircase, fairly dark as it seems a lot of this area isn't kept super well lit. As you ascend this staircase, not spiraled, but back and forth, passing a couple levels before that you had seen at other points, you enter into this open hall, this entryway, and you see the large set of, I believe, stone doors. These dark stone doors that you know is the entryway to Ultrathel's chamber.
Well, I mean, I can't remember if we like rang a bell or if we knocked or if we just like announced ourselves.
Previous times,
whatever.
You had been with Josiah and he had knocked. Tapping his cane on the metal door, or the stone door. It seemed to reverberate relatively well.
I'll take my dagger and hold it by the blade part and tap with the handle or pommel.
All right, you tap on it, you hear the crack of the sound again, of the sound ring throughout the room. You hear some footsteps from the other side, and the door is pulled open, slowly but surely, by the gaunt human man, the similar tired bats beneath his eyes, his dark clothes, the raven skull hanging from his robes, the long, familiar cane he walks with, you would see, and I'll share it again for Gambit's edification, you would see Reverend Josiah Bellathor. Welcome back. It's very nice to see you. Come in, come in. As he ushers to bring you into the room. Assuming you all step in, you would see the somewhat familiar sight, this long wooden table that leads up to the throne that Uldrathel sits upon. I'll also go ahead and share for you as well. The blue dragonborn, his silver khopesh set to leaning on the side of his chair as before, as he sits up, as he was leaning off to the side, leaning on his hand. He sits up and looks at you all. Welcome. It is nice to see you all return. Kronk, I am happy to see you. Did everyone who was with you make it home safely? Yeah, we didn't encounter anything on the way back. It's all good. There are, I don't know who all was missing. I assume everyone got back safely. Yes, I hope so. Josiah, would you mind speaking to him for a moment and just getting the names of everyone who was there? We can count them against anyone missing. Of course. They step off to the side for a few minutes. And in the meantime, Uldrathel looks around. You've gained a member since last I saw you, messengers, and seem to have lost one. Though, I have already spoken to Moeda. Tell me about these two new ones. Please, take a seat.
Hi, I'm Gambit, and I'm the newest member, and I am bad at adventuring, but I'm ready to learn.
We all start somewhere, Gambit. I had to once upon a time. And you, Kobold. Introduce yourself.
Thicket points at Maverick. and says, "That's Maverick. He gave me a rock." And then he pulls out the rock that Maverick gave him.
Is it a special rock?
No,
Interesting.
it looks nice though.
That it does. After a few moments, Josiah returns. Yes, sir. We'll have to compare the names later. It does look like there are a few that were not returned. But the majority of them have made it home. Understood. We'll have to send Geraldine to see if she can locate anyone lost in the sands. There's a potential that there are some not involved in whatever it is they found. Speaking of which, as Josiah comes over and takes a seat at the table, do you all sit as well?
Yes.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, Garon does.
As you take a seat at this long table, Uldrafel leans forward. Tell us, what did you find? Where did you find our people? And you also notice, sitting next to him on his armrest is the statue of a silver raven. What did you find?
Well,
We found this temple, and there was this big scary lady that was there, and she was like mind controlling people, and she had like a whole bunch of people just like working for her, but we decided to help out all of the people that she was like mind controlling. There were also jackal wares everywhere.
I see.
And we took care of that. We got everyone home safe. And I found this circle of blasting. I can do long range fire now.
Wonderful. It's always good to cover your bases. Tell me more about this woman. What was she
She had a
like?
really long tail. It was big. But she did illusion stuff. It was pretty cool, but it was scary.
Interesting. She had a tail, you say? Was she
Yeah.
human?
she was a
No.
lamia.
Lamia. Intriguing. I'm glad you put a stop to her. You said it was a temple you found.
Uh-huh.
What to?
We found this gem. If it points to, I think Maverick is the one carrying it. Carrying Claude.
Hello.
He talks.
I'm sorry, what?
He was in the temple.
Yeah, I'm Claude. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I've lived there for a long time. Hi. It's a Temple of Aether. Don't know why my voice is changing again. It was different last week. Or at least, no, wait, no, now I'm in it. Now I've got the voice. It's back. I'm back. Hello. Yes.
It's a gem
there's
thing.
It is a gem thing. It's true. We're all like this. I'd say as if I ever met another one of me. But yeah, it's a Temple of Aether. Yeah, it's a vault. There's a vault. Oh wait, no. I guess I shouldn't have said that. Oh dang. I didn't know if y'all wanted to tell him about the vault, but I guess I spilled the beans. Well,
Cedar has a scary
I'll
flute
stop.
now.
it's true. I do. Do you want to hear it? Not at the moment. You said this temple had a vault in it.
You have to stick swords in it.
Josiah leans forward. I'm sorry, what?
There's keyholes that look like swords are supposed to go in it.
Curious.
We couldn't get it open. It does big magic.
And there was word about the Six stopping Aeon with the divine spear.
A divine spear, you say? Josiah looks to the side and opens a notebook and begins flipping through his pages. I do remember something like this. As he finds a certain page, let's see. Yes, I remember reading something in these books about a hidden vault, a weapon. But I don't remember. I don't have a lot of. There aren't a lot of other details that I found. You said it would stop Aeon. Defeat the Grim.
Well, it didn't say necessarily stop Aeon. It said that it was so that he would never return. So either there's something in there to stop him from returning, or there's something locked away inside there that is the reason why he's not able to return. We haven't really figured that part out. We could
Either
get
way,
the
if it's
fun.
something that can, if it's something powerful enough to stop Aeon, then surely it can be used to stop the Grim. You said it needs 4 keys. Did you find the keys by chance?
We did not. I tried making one out of ice, but it didn't work.
Well, I imagine if it's that powerful, they would have gone to great extents to keep it safe. If it's alright with you, Uldrathel waves. This sounds certainly interesting. Would you be interested in tracking down these keys for us? Opening this weapon? I mean, if you've got any interest in it, I have a feeling you might want to do so anyway. Your adventures after all, but we would also be happy to aid you in this endeavor, I believe. Or at least I would, even if Ultrathel is not interested.
I mean,
Where
I'm
would we
definitely
start?
curious about figuring out what's in there. But yeah, we don't really know where to start. The gem doesn't know anything. This is Claude.
Hello. Yeah, the swords are taken. They're somewhere. Probably. They're not very easy to break, so I imagine they're somewhere within I assume the continent. It's about all I've got. And
We've
honestly,
gotta really narrow down.
That's a guess. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming so. Well, if you have no leads, then I could try and use some magic on it, but without more details, it's difficult to try and track down information on something you don't have any prior information about. But I can reach out to some of our friends, and we're actually going to, in a couple of weeks at this point, we have a meeting with Her Majesty. Might be able to check in there, see if she has any words or interest. Or any information to give us, I suppose.
Claude,
Yeah.
you said you used to do stuff with sandcastles.
Yup.
Are you able to, like, make a replica of what the sword was shaped like so
Do
that
you have any
Ultrathel can
sand?
see?
I do my best work with sand. And I don't see any sand in here.
Sand around.
Looking around, this is a fairly well-kept... While it is sandstone, it is well-kept. And there's not any loose sand around.
I have the dust of dryness.
Well, even a vague idea, I don't think would give us any location. I doubt I could scry on an individual object among millions, thousands of hundreds of thousands, millions of swords across the land.
Well, it's just so that you could know what it looks like, just in case you ever do come across it. You'd be like, oh, that's one of those swords that I was told.
Were there any particular markers, anything that you saw that we might be able to note? Yeah.
For the swords?
Yeah, the swords are they're gemstones, or they have gemstones on them. I don't remember.
Only
what the
2 of them are toxic.
I didn't know that. I'm not really able to be toxined. I only saw 2 pass by me, but I happen to know that they are all 4 gemstone related. Did y'all happen to see the others?
There was a green one and a blue one. And wait, are their colors were green, red, yellow, and blue, right?
Yes,
question.
that's correct. And there was a green
have it in my notes.
serpentine, and angel light, which was yellow. So it's green, red, yellow, blue.
In my notes, here it is. Yes,
Well,
green, yellow, orange, red, and light blue.
correct. Well, if we're keeping out for those, there's nothing in our vaults. He looks to Uldrethel again. Kind of like a almost child looking to their parent to see if they're good to keep talking. It seems he doesn't want to like step on Uldrethel's toes or anything, and Uldrethel just gives him a wave of like, continue. I'm not aware of any swords in our stores or anything for it, or anything that has those particular gemstone qualities. You said a serpentine.
Yes.
Yes, green serpentine.
Oh, good to know. If we see any, I'll be happy to let you know of. Nothing immediately rings a bell.
It did plant magic.
Plant magic.
It did do plant magic, right?
Yes. Wait, the green serpentine. Yes, the green serpentine did do plant. Because green did serpentine, yellow did radiance, the red did stone, and the blue did ice. Interesting. Well, I'll keep looking into it. In the time being, your adventures, I'm sure you've got lives to live, curiosities to discover. Should you find any of these swords, I would be immensely thankful if you could come back here and if we could try and open this vault.
Do you know anything about like prophecies or anything?
Prophecies?
Yeah.
They're rare, but they do happen. We haven't received many prophecies since the schism. The gods prefer not to be so direct anymore. But there are some prophecies, though I can't think of any immediately that have applied in quite some time. There was one about a king that would arrive, and we believe that to have been Lord Malik, who effectively bonded Vacuo together. But there's none of them I haven't thought, but they do exist, certainly. Did you find one?
Well, there was stuff written on the walls by the door without the locks
Where is
on
this
it.
temple, by the way? I'd like to send some of my men and actually go myself to study this location.
I'm sure other people would be more specific, but Thicket's just gonna point in the general direction and be like, that way.
Uh-huh.
I was not here for the session where we went in.
A cedar. It's roughly however many miles Micah said before, to the southwest, up in the side of the rock, here or there. Description.
It is the
Yes.
correct distance away in the correct direction.
Yes, it is the correct distance away in the correct direction. I see. Oh, and I suppose we do have the townspeople as well. Who'd be happy to help us lead there, I'm sure, though I don't imagine any of them had a good time. But with whatever's
Do
there,
not try and open the door without the keys. They do magic.
what kind of magics?
If you try and break in. Well, the green one did plant magic, and then I almost got shot with light.
Interesting.
And then the red one did stone magic, and the blue one did ice.
The red one did stone magic.
Yes.
That seems like an odd connection.
I know, I thought it was going to be fire.
That's what I would have assumed
'Cause-
as well.
Pretty much all red things are fire, but no, it was stone.
Odd. But thank you. Interesting. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I interrupted you. The thing on the wall, what was it?
Trying to remember the specifics of it.
It was writing in Draconic.
It was writing in Draconic. But you said there was a
I wasn't
prophecy.
able to read it, but who can read Draconic? Cedar and Doug?
Doug. I think just Doug.
Oh, I thought there was more people.
Oh, Maverick does as well.
Well, I can't read Draconic, and that's what it was written in, but it said something about like 6 people and keeping Aeon from returning. They could probably know what exactly it said.
Doug clears his throat and just says, behold the divine spear that by 6 chosen, Aeon may never return.
Interesting.
That's what it was.
It almost sounds like a ward of protection. Interesting. I'm excited to get up there and look for myself. But I'm sorry, Ortophil, back to you. I'll leave the floor back to you. I will think about this. Yes. Thank you for returning my people. Seeing as I've already paid you, I don't believe there's necessary additional funds. I'm also curious in this vault if you do happen to find anything.
Was this the thing that we I remember there was like something we had to do where we got paid before and then we were supposed to get paid after. I don't remember if we...
No, you received the full payment up front for 15 days worth. Y'all used 2 days, but he wasn't going to ask for the money back. Interesting. Well, you are welcome here. And I believe I need to have conversations with 2 of you, is that right?
2?
I would love a conversation if I'm included in that too.
Yes, conversation with Garand and with you, Gambit.
I would also like to have a conversation with you.
Am I in trouble?
Ultrathel leans forward. Tell me about yourself, Gambit. Who are you and where are you from? What are you doing in my town?
Oh, I'm just following these guys. I just, was wandering around and found myself kidnapped, and I was under the Lacephine scary spell, and these guys came in and got me out, and, I want to see the world, and so I thought it would be good to join this adventuring crew since, I'm not a very good adventurer myself, so I'm kind of like apprenticing with these guys.
Make a deception check.
Perception?
Deception.
Deception, oh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
Uh-huh.
Was that done?
I said in the process of giving that explanation, Doug is going to add on and say to Gambit, is like, oh, don't be so modest, Gambit. You also ride wind, remember? I can't do that.
Yeah, that's right. Can definitely ride wind.
Eldrathal stares at you for a moment. Josiah, did you prepare what I'd asked of you last night? Yes, sir, I did. If you don't mind. Josiah stands up and walks around the table and steps behind Gambit's chair.
Uh-oh.
Please, this is, just so you know ahead of time, a simple spell that will require you to tell the truth. While within its radius, while within its area. If you so please, allow yourself to be taken by the spell.
Hold on just a second. Why am I being grilled here? Like,
Well, first off, you
who
just
are
lied
you?
to us.
Oh, okay. But you're not like my boss, are you? Is
That
he
remains to be
my
seen.
our boss? Oh, okay.
If you're talking
well,
about the ones that hired you, yes, Lord Eldrathel is the one that hired this group. So, I
Sure,
suppose in a way that does.
I guess I'll yield to this.
Alright, he is going to cast Zone of Truth.
Mhm.
And let's see. Within the sphere, who was sitting next? Actually, it's a 15-foot radius sphere. So it would actually get most of you in it. Who is not going to allow themselves to fail the save?
if Garand would have been able to stealthily sneak away a little bit and like back up, just in case, then that would be how he would do that.
If you'd see him walk
But
around,
otherwise-
you could have tried to lean away.
Basically, because I don't know what's going to happen, and so I'm thinking, okay, if this goes bad, I want to be able to get a lay of what's going on in the room. So,
All right. Is anyone else going to attempt to resist the zone of truth?
Doug, seeing Garon kind of spoofed, he manifests a clone, over 15 feet away. In response.
He just leaves it there? Or is he taking any
Well,
aggressive action?
Well, to possibly switch places.
All right. You create it. Bellathor looks at both of you. Is anyone else trying to resist in any way? Are any of you going to not automatically fail the save? I believe, Gambit, are you going to attempt to... Are you going to fail it? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and... I rolled charisma saves. It should not have auto-rolled. But let's see who got what. So Garand did succeed. Gambit failed.
Yay.
Maverick failed.
Yep.
Cedar succeeded. But Cedar, actually knowing how Abby tends to play, Cedar would have resisted. Thicket failed, and Doug succeeded. So, for all of you who failed, which would be Gambit, Maverick, and Thicket, you are now unable to speak a deliberate lie while in the radius. He knows that you've failed your saving throw and that you're affected by it. You can avoid answering by things that are not a lie. Dodging answers, evading answers, giving things that are technically the truth, but you cannot tell an outright lie while affected by this. Tell me again, Gambit. Who are you?
Oh.
And where are you from?
Okay.
And you're aware
Captain...
of the effect, so you can try to avoid it if you like.
Yeah. Catherine, the player, forgot where we said that Gambit is from.
Gambit is from Reef.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Listen, I am just a guy from... I was a miner. And I've been away from home for a long time, and I'm not like there's a lot of people can say a lot of bad stuff about me, but they're not true, and I'm really not a bad guy. I don't think.
Have you been falsely accused of something?
Yes.
And you said you were from Reef?
Mm-hmm.
What were you accused of?
Murder.
Are you wanted by those within Reef?
Yeah.
He thinks for a moment. Gambit, do you wish any harm on this group or anyone within this town?
No.
Do you plan or intend to steal, hurt, harm, or anything unlawful or of the sort of the people of this town?
Unless it's out of self-defense, then no.
Josiah, do you have any other questions for anyone else under the effect? No, sir, I don't have any questions for Thicket or Maverick. Understood. Release the spell. Josiah, from this time, he had been standing behind Gambit, and as he cast the spell, there was this wave of psychic energy that you felt almost statically reach around you. That had been... And you didn't quite notice it when it started, but as it ends, the lack of this slight, almost vibration in the background of this magical energy. as you feel it release.
Like it's almost just a little bit sad that no one wanted to ask him questions.
Gambit.
Mm-hmm.
Garon would have,
Hmm?
if it helps.
Garon would have asked. I mean, if you wanted to
it
ask
starts to
any
look sad,
questions, if you wanted to interrupt.
No, I'm just saying, if it starts to look sad. I'm trying to play this, so I don't know. I don't know what to expect, so I'm just kind of trying to go with it.
I think it does look a little bit sad.
Just a teeny tiny, like a pinch.
Well, when he starts looking around the room in sadness, and he looks over at Garon, he'll meet his eyes, and Garon will look like he's trying to formulate the right question, like he's deep, pensive thought.
And after a moment, Aldrathel, looking effectively at the wood of the table, seeming to be in thought, he looks back to Gambit. I will not ask you your name, unless you agree with my offer. I trust
What is your offer?
that you don't intend to hurt anyone within Keenite. And at least you seem to believe that you have been falsely accused.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone is as generous as I. If you wish, I can give you sanctuary within Keenite. There is a book that each lord of this land has, with 2 sections. The one you'd be concerned with is one where we can declare sanctuary, declare people we protect, and for any reason, whether it be by bounty, being wanted, that person cannot be hunted within our domain. So if you wish, I can make it outright illegal for any bounty hunter, any mercenary, any extra-legal interaction.
That sounds
from.
really great.
However, this is a double-edged sword.
Yeah, I figured.
As, in doing so, every lord within all of Vacuo will know who you are, that you are in Keenite currently, and that someone is searching for you, that you are wanted by someone.
Oh, wow.
As I said, there is a danger to it,
Yeah.
as it is effectively putting out a beacon, a list of names of people that I'm willing to protect. And I can only protect you within my domain. Not every lord will be so kind. There are some that I have disagreements with who may attack you simply because I protect you.
That seems like a very generous offer. Can you give me some time to think it over?
I will.
How long do you think?
I will allow you 1 week while within my town.
Okay.
And if you do not wish to after that, actually, after 1 week, if it necessary, if you wish to seek security, we will attempt the spell again, clarify your innocence, and make sure you have not had any additional misgivings. And if you are innocent, then I will be willing to offer you sanctuary then.
Cool.
Do you have any questions, Gambit?
Yeah. So like, will I like be able to disguise myself and stuff and go into other?
Of course.
Or would they? Okay.
The sanctuary only applies within Keenite, within my domain.
Okay. Okay.
It effectively
so I
gives me
could.
the entire legal right to arrest even officers of other lordships if they desire to
Mhm.
arrest you for any reason.
So everyone will know that I'm here, but I could leave and they wouldn't know that I've left.
Correct.
They would
It would
just
just
know that
clarify
I'm.
that you have been here. You have sought my
Okay.
counsel, and I have given it.
Cool. All right. I
Assuming you
believe
leave
I have.
quickly, that would remedy the location
Mhm.
issue. However, it would still be known that you, whatever your real name is, as I would need to put down your real name that you go by, would be marked.
Sure. Let me think it over and talk with the new group and make sure that they are, because I'm not a criminal, and so I'm not really prepared for the dangers that comes with being labeled as one, and so I'm just
Few of us
really
are.
looking for safety, but also I want to be free. So that's that's what I'm looking for. So I'm just trying to find somewhere and some people that I can be that with, you know? It might be here, or it might be with this group, or it might be somewhere else. So let me just have some time to get over.
You have it. I also wish to speak to you, Garand. We had that conversation about your uncle to have. Whether or not you wish to have that. in
Certainly,
front
I
of
look forward
the-
to.
Yes, I assumed you might want it in a private setting.
Well, I believe I've learned something. So, Thicket, I understand that you have had your misgivings about me since learning that there was more to my story. Now, I pray that you will forgive me for my personal decision to withhold information, because the reality of the situation is that I have had a very troublesome few years. My father was presumed dead after his cohorts of hunters left him when he went to pursue creatures that were responsible for chasing after my mother. When he was abandoned to die, the elven land I'm from decided to kick my mother and myself out. She wanted to take me to my uncle to help me learn magic so that her and I could together go find my father, or at least put him to rest, if nothing else. And then we were attacked on a ship, and a great storm came, and there was a mighty and terrible beast, and it decided that it wanted to offer me a chance at redemption. Well, I didn't really have much of an option, so I signed on, as it were. And then I made it to land, and I thought I'd get my way and find my uncle best I could. And then I got delivered a letter. And then I met all of you lot. And I was quickly impressed with the desire to not immediately destroy all the kobolds. And then we proceeded to quickly lose our new friend Archon. And I thought I was cursed. And the best way to keep everyone safe was to keep you all at distance. Then Retta was the one person I thought I connected with as a friend, and she found herself pressing me to retreat elsewhere. And this was, of course, after you had attacked me, because you were not satisfied with my answer. You did not take the previous actions and the previous support that I provided as evidence enough that maybe I deserve the benefit of the doubt. You have that right to do so, but it made me more leery and apprehensive. And in fact, with Maverick showing up, I was worried, but he seemed to take to Doug and Doug to him, so I thought that at the very least Doug was watching him and that would be enough. And then we reached this place of slaves and evil and whatnot, and Gambit just so ready to jump on board, so I sent the Raven ahead and actually asked about whether or not Gambit was to be trustworthy. And I believe that Gambit, this is my, at least partial responsibility that you were put under this, but you handled yourself well. For whatever it's worth to you, I trust you now enough to include you in this. And so I say all of this to say that perhaps I'm not cursed because we were able to make it out without anyone dying, without anyone leaving. But instead, I've seen loyalty from this person who doesn't really know us very well, but is willing to commit. And I've seen that despite your misgivings about me, you have still helped me. So, I don't know what the future's in store, and I don't know if I am cursed or not. But having lost many people in quick succession has weighed heavily on my heart. And I hope that you'll understand, and maybe find it in your heart as well, to not only forgive, but to likewise apologize for maybe a little overzealous reaction to some words. By pinning me to the wall with branches and vines and twigs. But even if you don't, I hope that this will at least put everything else to rest. If anyone likes to say anything, that'd be fine. Otherwise, please, Eldrathel, I would love to hear anything that you have to say about my uncle.
I appreciate you saying all of that. I just have a few questions. I don't really understand. If you wanted to keep us at a distance because you felt like you were cursed, why did you still consider yourself part of our group, the messengers, when it was just the few of us? But then whenever we would meet other people, you would act like you don't know us. I don't understand how that's keeping us at a distance.
I apologize. I'm not sure I follow exactly what you mean. That I didn't know you? When Maverick appeared, I was confused with how quickly Doug took to him, but
When
I don't
we
remember
were
saying anything about not knowing any of you.
when we were traveling with archaeologists, and all of us were talking about how we had our own letter, and we were all together as part of a group. You, on several different occasions, not just with her, made the specific distinction that you were just traveling with us. That everyone else got letters, but you were just traveling with us because you wanted to record legends.
Okay. Right, so that was my cover for trying to effectively stay with the group who had already acknowledged that they had these letters, and I wanted to find out how this person found me immediately and requested me directly. Clearly there was more going on at play, but not understanding everything. Again, I was attempting to keep you at distance because if I had an emotional connection with you, or you with me, I was afraid that somehow I was going to be a curse and burden to you and to the others. So, telling her that, because she was not a letter bearer, for one, for two, we were more assisting her and working alongside her. It was more of a partnership, really. And the idea of I'm the traveling bard and I'm going to write their stories and tell their songs, and that was really the cover of what I was doing. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear in the first place. The entire reason for the deception was my fear that that perhaps I am cursed, and if I am too close to someone, then they find danger or other issue. So that's all. It was all the same ruse.
It just felt very much like you had told us you want to be our friend, but only when it's just us, and that if we were around other people, then you didn't want them to know that you were at all connected with us. It felt like it was hurtful, I guess, that you would say these things about wanting to be our friend, but it felt like it was only whenever it was convenient for you. That's why I was so frustrated with you, that you would lie to all these people and you just never would say why. Like, it's all right that you want to keep your secrets, but I wasn't willing to be friends with someone who would say one thing and then do another, I guess. But there's that sort of disconnect between words and actions. And I had a finish to that sentence that I've forgotten.
Well, I mean, the best that I can tell you is that, I mean, that was certainly not my intention. Honestly, it didn't even come across in my mind as that. So, I mean, I'll happily apologize for that as well, because that was completely unintentional. It was all about maintaining the ruse. Again, trying to keep everyone at a distance for fear that I could have some sort of, evil lurking shadows, death, whatever you want to call it. Pick your mythical fable fairy tale of doom. But whether it was true or not, I suppose it comes down to feeling safe enough to open up, that seeing that we haven't fully given up on each other, I mean, again, Cedar, you and Doug have been around since the beginning, so the fact of the matter is that counts. And I mean, you can chalk it up to the fact that lying long term is never a viable solution, but there was no ill will intended, like even a little. So I am very sorry that's how it felt to you. I honestly believe that I was trying to protect all of you, and certainly I did care. I mean, clearly, I wanted to keep you all alive, and despite everything, clearly you cared, because all of you wanted to try to keep me alive. So, again, I was planning on saying this tonight, after dinner and so forth, but with this new possible information about my uncle, I felt it the perfect time, especially considering what Gambit had just gone through and was willing to do on behalf of a group that he barely knows. He is willing to put himself at emotional risk. I can do no less. So, his honor calls me to want to be more honorable, and the honor that each of you have already displayed effectively built the cake with which that was the icing. So, again, I am greatly sorry for the lies and for the hang-ups and issues, but I'm not entirely convinced I'm not still cursed. It's just that I suppose if I am, you might as well all be prepared for the possibility.
Well, you might be theoretically cursed, but I am a wanted man, so we could just like make a pact, and I'll fight for you, and you fight for me.
Well, I had internally already made that decision, but verbally, yes, I agree.
All right.
But Thicket, since it seemed to upset you so much, I want to know: do you understand where I was coming from? Even if you don't agree with it, do you at least understand where I was coming from?
I understand your intentions, I guess. I think your methods could have been better executed. But we've just established that. I do want to say when we had fought previously, there was a whole argument of like, are your actions not enough for me to trust you? And to that, I just wanted to let you know, like, it's okay that you don't want us to know certain things about you. I would just rather you say, I don't want to tell you. This is something that I would like to keep personal, or I'm going to do this certain thing, and I would like for it to be private, instead of trying to do things behind our back. Like, what was with the raven? I'd never seen that thing before, but it got here apparently from us. So it's in the future. Just don't try and do things behind our backs. It's okay if you want to do things personally, but I would like to know, I guess, if there's things that you just want to be alone for, rather than trying to like sneak away.
All right. Well, I sent the Raven to let him know that we were coming and to expect us and so forth like that. But I also included, do you have any information about Gambit? Because Gambit seemed too quick to sign up. It seemed very easy of a situation. So that gave me cause for pause. Now, I
think it definitely knows about causes for pauses.
I can, try to.
Or cause for pause, rather.
I mean, if this is a matter of you want to be a party leader and everything run by you, I mean, I suppose we could talk about that. But if the point is we can trust each other to make generally good decisions, then I mean, then we should be able to trust each other to make generally good decisions. You and Cedar, try to, communicate rightly with a snake, a giant serpent, and I would have killed it and cooked it and eat it. So, but that's fine. You resolved the situation. So, didn't even occur to me to question you about your decision because it was successful. But so I'm not sure exactly what you mean with that, but I can say that I have no intentions to lie to you really ever again. Or anyone in the party. I mean, there was a general you, not just you specifically, Thicket. So, I mean, I hope that helps, but no, I'm not. I guess I'm not sure what you're getting at the moment. Is it that you're so upset that I lied about
I guess
the
what I was
letter?
trying to say is not that I want to be like in charge of everything or anything. It's just like when you're in any sort of relationship with anyone, and for this instance, that would be platonic friendships, you need to be able to communicate with each other. And I just don't think that what's the word? I think that having open communication is very important in being able to be friends with people. And it's not that I want you to like tell me all your secrets or anything. It's just there's the whole actions speak louder than words thing is not always applicable when it comes to like wanting to like support us and help us in combat and being like really helpful to the team, and then also going behind our backs and doing things in secret. And my whole thing was like actions don't necessarily replace the need for communication. I would just like to be able to communicate with you better, is essentially what I'm saying. Because I'm not super great with interpreting the intent behind people's actions. And it's just, it would be better if we could just talk about things instead of trying to decipher each other's intentions through actions.
I mean, I will try to work on that, whatever that might end up becoming. I don't know, but in the meantime, you know, I would suggest that trust is something that is always given. Now we say, you know, there's the phrase, "Oh, trust is earned." That's not really true. We choose to trust or choose not to, regardless of, you know, you can be in a bad, you know, you spoke of relationships, now obviously platonic, but still, you could be in a bad relationship and still choose to trust that person, even though it's not healthy to do so. Likewise, you could be in a good relationship and choose not to trust that person, and that's not healthy to do so. So ultimately, trust comes down to a choice. Now, I understand, I did lie to you, so you may decide that you still don't really want to trust me for a while, and maybe that is part of the whole communication thing that you would like. But if it is an idea about communication, then should we not also hold Doug to the same standard and not have him run off whenever he feels like it? Because I actually thought it was foolish when he went off with Gambit and didn't say anything. I mean, he explained it to me later, and I got what his intent was, and it was very intelligent, but I don't know that it was the safest idea for him to just take Gambit off by himself, because if Gambit wasn't the person that he has turned out to be, Dog could have been seriously injured. So I mean, if it really is communication, then it can't be just me that you have this issue with. Furthermore, you should also want to consider talking to yourself, because it's not really communication to trap someone against their will with plants. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. I think that
Like, was Ticket around when that happened with Doug and Gambit, or was he in the bathroom?
He was in the bath.
I'm not really sure what exactly happened with Doug and Gambit, but if such thing did happen, then I agree. That is something that should have been talked over. And in regards to using Entangle on you, you had said earlier, like, that I need to apologize to you. I was under the impression I already had. Had we not already talked it over, it was explained to me that I was acting recklessly, that I shouldn't have responded the way that I did, and I understand that I had thought that I'd apologize to you, had I not?
I mean, I have no recollection of that conversation, but I mean, a lot has happened since then. So
Like this whole time, whenever I would like cast spells, not every time, but there was a lot of times I would cast spells, and you would make side comments being like, "Oh, I sure am glad that it wasn't targeted at me. A good job, Thicket, for not casting it on me again." Was
Right.
that all because
because I was scared.
you thought
I was scared.
didn't apologize?
Well, yeah, I was honestly uncertain when I might get attacked again.
Well, I'm very sorry about that. I didn't realize that it wasn't as resolved as I had thought it was. I'm
That's enough. You don't need to say any more unless you want to.
If it wasn't clear before, I am sorry that I cast a spell on you. And explaining why I did doesn't change the fact that I did it. Like, I could go on and say, like, oh, I was frustrated that I wasn't able to communicate with you in a way that was, I guess, clear enough for me to be satisfied with. But explaining that doesn't change that I did, and I'm sorry to have hurt you in that way.
Well, I'm glad. I feel like now it can finally be past and maybe eventually come back full circle and just be a joke and no hard feelings. But I'm feeling a lot more secure about that. And again, a big part of it for me was seeing that you continue to not let me die. That really helped me to know, like, okay, maybe he's not going to attack me again. And so that was good. But like I said, it was all these steps leading up to everything. I mean, we might be having a very different conversation if it turned out that Gambit was a horrible person, or if you tried to let me die, or if who knows. But thankfully, none of those things happened. And so now, again, like I said, I did lie. I lied because I thought I was protecting all of you. I've no intentions of lying further from here on out. If I do something and I did not communicate to your satisfaction, then hopefully I can learn from that so that I can do so better in the future. But sometimes I will make snap decisions, and it's not as a slight against you. I've noticed that my brain will tend to work faster than is necessarily good for me. I once figured out that I could procure an item that might have been of benefit, and I did not think it fully through as to whether or not that was the best idea to actually follow that course of action. But that is neither here nor there. Again, I do apologize, Thicket, to you, Doug, to you as well, and Cedar. I am very, very sorry that I had lied, and I hope that we can get past that, and that you know that I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say.
Thicket offers his paw and a handshake, and it says, "To new beginnings."
I'll drink to that.
Yes, I think that would be delightful.
Also, let's not joke about the entangle spell. That's a bit of a sore wound.
Oh, very well, as you like.
I'm glad you've all had this time to make peace with one another. And it is getting to be somewhat late, and so I'd like to finish this conversation and let you all go for the evening. Garand, your uncle, I know him as the Storm Lord of Lahar, Gorwin Evanstar. He rules there. He rules that and the 2 islands nearby. From when I've spoken to him, he is an honorable man. However, in the few times we've interacted, he has not failed to mention the ideas of dynasty, of honor, and his family name. Should you wish to look for him, that is where you can find him, within Lahar. Be aware of the ocean. And if you head that direction, be aware of the danger it may pose to Gambit. And if you go that way, be aware he may have expectations of you. And be prepared to handle those. If you have any other questions, I can answer them for you, but that is all I have on him at the moment. We have not interacted terribly often, but I wish to warn you that he is aggressively involved in the concept of dynasty and being remembered.
Well, I do thank you for the information, and I'll communicate with you soon, and maybe we can spitball some ideas a little bit more or what have you. But I would not risk Gambit. But
a wise decision.
For
should you head that way, be
a chance.
Careful.
I mean, we could probably do it. Just maybe, like, not right now, when I can't fight anything without dying. But when I become an experienced adventurer, I have no problem. And I can protect myself, and I can protect you, and you can protect me. Then I have no problem with going there, but maybe not right now.
Do any of you have any additional questions for me before we end for the
I do. So
Or we what?
Before I let you all return to the inn and get some sleep. You seem quite tired. As in game, it is now approaching 8:30.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes, Gambit.
So with the offer that you've made, the plus was that I have a place to be safe but the negative was that it would reveal my last known location.
Effectively.
Might I ask, what is the benefit to you for you protecting me?
I receive none.
Okay.
Some lords do require it as a favor, or can even be bought in rare occasions. But I value innocence and honoring that, and
All right.
trusting your innocence, as you don't see as since I've cast that spell, you seem to be telling the truth. Or since Bellathor cast the spell, you seem to be quite honest. I would be willing to protect you.
Cool. Well, I personally don't know you, and in my past, I have been used by people in authority, so I'm having difficulty trusting you, but my fellow party members seem to trust you, so I will take you at your word for now. But I'm still going to think about it, and I would like to talk to my party members to make sure that they understand that I a wanted man.
Understood. And as a last piece of information, is there anything unique that you found that you believe may belong to someone within the temple that was stolen? If not,
I don't know. I don't know about items, but I did want to let you know we saw something really big in a sandstorm in like the dunes or whatever.
not a
across
sandstorm,
from
it
the
was a
city.
thunderstorm.
Thunderstorm. We saw something really big in a thunderstorm, a little ways from the city.
How large?
Very, very big. Are giraffes common in this world, or like
Giraffes
enough
exist.
to know of?
Yeah,
Okay.
they would know what a giraffe is.
It was what?
They would know what a giraffe is.
Okay. It was like a giraffe, but much bigger.
I see. As him and Bellathor look to each other, thank you for letting us know. We will.
Do we need to do anything about that?
Do not approach.
Okay.
Assuming I understand what it is you see, it is an immense grim. There's at least one that wanders the desert. They're often referred to as the terrors of the wastes. I would not engage. They're extremely powerful.
Good to know. Are they fast?
For their size, most likely, but don't know. I've
I
managed
don't
to
want to end up
avoid
getting
engaging
chased
in...
by them.
I would recommend not getting chased by them. From
That
what I
is the goal.
understand, myself and Bellathor have never engaged with one. I've been lucky enough to avoid it. But from bits of stories I've heard from survivors, they can strike with lightning and engulf creatures whole. I would highly recommend avoiding them. And it seems
That's
you all...
terrifying.
Yes, I'm sure the fact that it's walking in a storm is not a coincidence. But yes, were there any objects that we could find the original owners for? I imagine you've already spoken with those that were with you.
Do we have stuff to get?
Doug pulls out the three.
What does Doug pull out?
Doug takes the rope from over his shoulder and kind of pops the three portraits down and then unties them. And it's like, and he kind of like carefully takes one painting that was facing the other painting and then just quickly like shows it to Uldrathel and just ask him, do you know anything about these?
I don't recognize them.
Can you do me a favor and like touch it?
He stands, and for the first time you've seen him actually standing, he is quite tall. He is probably 6'6", before his horns. And he steps down from the slightly raised seat he's in and touches the painting. Which painting are you showing him, just out of curiosity?
It's always going to be the woman in fruit.
The woman with the fruit. He touches it, and nothing happens.
Doug unsquints his eyes, kind of is unbelief, and then like looks at the painting, looks at Uldrathel, and is like, are you sure you touched it?
He places his hand on it in plain view.
Well, anyway, do you know anything about these paintings? Because when we were there, these beings came out of the portraits and attacked us.
What kind of beings?
Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yes, they look just like these portraits, except they were very real and tangible and made noises.
And one of them made me sick.
Let's see. If you would leave them with Bellathor, assuming they are cursed, you should be able to remove the spirit and allow it to rest. It is his specialty to deal with the dead.
Wait. I didn't necessarily say destroy it.
Ideally, we can keep the painting intact, but the soul deserves to rest.
Like, agreed, but these also could be great sparring partners. Just saying.
So you want to keep the ghosts?
Yes, because my buddy over here needs to learn how to throw a knife.
For the time being, I'll allow it. Erebus looks over. I'd prefer you didn't. If there are spirits in there, they deserve to rest. If they're just cursed, if it's just a painting, then sure. It might as well be an animated object at that point. But if it's a person, you'd effectively be torturing them.
Well, aren't they already tortured?
That's why it would be better to release them.
I'm not following. But anyway, if you find it out, then just let me know before you do anything.
You said you're giving it to him or no?
Reluctantly, yes.
I will check first to see if there's anything that should be released before I return them to you. And if there's not, if it is simply an animation, then you are welcome. But if it is a spirit, I will not return it to you. Or I may return the paintings to you, but I will release the spirit.
Thicket's got his head cocked to the side and is just watching all of this interaction happen with a confused look on his face. Because apparently a lot of things happened in his 45-minute bath.
Oh, yeah. Assuming you hand it to him, he will take the paintings.
Yes.
Alright. Well, if there's nothing else that needs to be departed with, I believe it is time for you all to rest. Is there any items in the parcel that y'all are going to give them? Effectively, y'all would at this point figure out that the gold rings and necklace and gemstones and money is effectively impossible to find whoever it belongs to. And so, per the deal that y'all were given, he would be willing to let you keep it. Especially given the other supplies that are being left at the temple that they are going to retrieve. Y'all are welcome to take, effectively, the parcel items.
Thicket sadly takes off the circlet of blessing and asks him, "Does this belong to someone?"
No, I don't recognize it. It's certainly not from our stores.
Would it be
What
okay
about
if
that
I
raven?
keep it?
You can keep it.
Yes!
And what of the raven? I believe that Cedar
Ah.
might be interested in that.
He hands it over to you. Of course, I meant to send it back to you in a couple of days if you had not arrived. From the looks of it, it still has. He glances at it, and thinks to himself, based on when you sent it to me, 28, 30 hours left before it is able to be reused.
That's fine. I'll she'll be the.
Because if you
Better with
remember, it
that.
basically has a 12 hours of working and then has to spend 48 hours off before it'll function again. Giving that to Cedar. All right. They would let y'all go. It is getting late, so we're going to go ahead and move y'all to the inn. Garon apparently would like to perform for the evening.
I have one last question for
You have
Ujapa.
a question? Okay, good. Ask.
He points at Cedar and I was like, show him the scary flute. I had a question. Do you know if using this flute or holding it or having it by you for an extended period of time will do bad things to you?
The flute?
Yes.
Talking about
The scary flute.
pan flute?
Yes.
I would not assume so, assuming it's magic. Unless it is cursed, and if you have someone who has properly identified it, it likely isn't.
Okay.
But if it's cursed, it would cause issues. But if it is not, if it's something you can simply use, then even Bellathor over here has a weapon that can scare people. As he holds up the cane, Bellathor says, "Yeah, this actually is technically is a mace of terror. I can scare people with it, on top of beating the crap out of them."
So the flute's just scary to be scared.
Yes, I believe so.
Great. Thank you.
Cool. Run down the items real quick, what y'all are going to keep and what you might want to sell off. Bloodstone. Worth 50 gold pieces. Who wants it? Garand had them, but I don't know if he's going to give them out.
I also have the other stones from other areas. So if we wanted to convert stones to money this time and parcel out the money, we can do that. Otherwise, I can just keep holding onto the stones until we really need to spend money on something.
For now, I will give the stones to you, and if
It's
y'all
up to you
want to
guys.
try and sell them next time, just to clean up the party sheet. Cedar's getting that. The weird fancy tools. Who wants that?
Wait, say it again.
There was a set of fancy tools that I don't believe Maverick had gotten to look at yet, but there were a set of tools y'all found. Who wants them?
Garon would show Maverick.
Maverick, make
He'd be
a general intelligence.
You like this, right?
Intelligence.
And are you doing this in front of Josiah and Bellathor, or would y'all wait until you got back before divvying up?
That's a
Garon-
4 or an 8.
Garon's doing this stuff in front of them because if it does belong to someone, Garon would want them to have it.
In that case, due to the Maverick, you would not recognize them, but as you pull out these tools, Josiah looks over. Actually know what those are. Those were embalming tools. They look to be quite old, actually.
Oh.
They're used to prepare the dead for burial. In fact, if you'd like to donate them to the church, we'd be happy to use another pair.
Is it possible that we could donate that to you and you could donate a potion to us?
That or a blessing, perhaps. We don't have much in terms of potions. We're not alchemists, but I do have some levels of magic. I could even... let's see. Cast a spell, owe you a favor, or even simply pay for them.
Do we know, is Gambit's curse gonna wear off, or is he
You
just...
have no idea.
Nah.
I mean, could you figure out what's up with Gambit?
I don't feel well.
You were
He's a
struck
little
by
sick.
the
Smooth criminal?
You are struck by the ghost, yes?
Yes.
Doodly-doo. What can he use? He does not have remove curse or either of the restorations prepared, actually. So let me see if Ultrathel has one of those. Come on, either of you. Do either of you have remove curse on you? No, neither of you have remove curse. If you come back in the morning, if it's still an issue, I'd be happy to remove the curse. It should function.
Okay.
Either that or prepare restoration. And if you find that it's not an issue, then I'd be happy just to pay you for the tools.
Epic.
So y'all going to give him the tools or wait till the morning to give him the tools? Deal with them next time, effectively.
I'm gonna say
I think we
wait
can give him the
because I want to make sure
tools.
that
Oh.
Gambit doesn't stay sick.
All right. 2 fine gold rings and a fine necklace. The gold rings are worth 10 gold pieces apiece, and the necklace is worth 50. The necklace is a fine necklace inlaid with malachite.
I mean, again, I can
You
just
wanna
keep
send
it
him
all in, like,
just-
the party, like, separate.
If
Keep it
Thicket
on.
gets a hold
If-
of any
I'm just saying, if we
of
need
any
money-
precious stones, he's just gonna start a rock collection.
Okay, I'll just leave those in there for the night then. The money, unless y'all are planning to donate any of it, the money in the parcel is not going to be claimed by them. So I can press the distribute to party if you'd like.
I'm cool with that.
Ready?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
All right, and all right, it's gonna take a second to load, but it should count everything out and it should distribute correctly, which will now make it where Gambit isn't broke. Gambit has money.
Yay! I got
Money.
Everyone
Money.
received
Oh.
450 copper pieces, 14 gold pieces, and 150 silver pieces.
Woo! That's more money than I
when
had.
we start spreading this money out, Karan's gonna say, "Oh, this reminds me, Thicket. All those free breakfasts, that was on me. All those free nights at the end, that was on me. So, I mean, since you want more communication, just let you know, I was trying to be generous to everyone without, seeking credit, but in the interest of fairness and working on communication, there you go. That I was the mystery benefactor."
Appreciate it.
Mystery solved.
And the party now, as a total, has 616 gold pieces, 1,150 silver pieces, 3,370 copper pieces. The richest party member probably being actually still Garon with 196 gold pieces.
How do you have so much?
I don't know how he has so much, but he does.
I think he's
playing
the only
beautiful
person who
songs.
hasn't bought things.
Right, he hasn't bought much, and he's also been playing music at the inn every single time y'all have stayed anywhere.
Like
I actually think
bought
I have the
armor,
most.
and
I think I have the most.
Doug
gold.
bought
No, you definitely don't.
Doug bought clothes.
Really? Look how much platinum I have.
You have 0 platinum.
No, it says 30 on my character
Why do you have
sheet.
30 platinum? Get rid of that. How dare you?
I did.
Yeah, but doodly-doo. I don't think I haven't given y'all any platinum yet. I did delete Electrum because I hate Electrum, and Electrum's awful, so I got rid of it. I
Fair.
straight up
I've
deleted
not
it
heard
from
of
the
it
campaign.
until right this second.
Electrum is a stupid between silver and gold. It literally is worth 5 silver pieces.
Ew.
It's awful. It's worth 5 silver pieces.
Ew.
I hate it, and I've removed it from my campaigns, basically.
We don't want nickels here.
Sure.
And
For the night then, I want to go ahead and let y'all have your long rest, have y'all's level.
Level
And I know
4.
it is getting late.
Level 4.
So we'll go ahead and real quick, Garand, roll a d4, 2d6s, and 2d8s. It's going to be gold, silver, and copper. So how many you get?
1d4, 2d6s,
And 2d8.
and 1d8.
Yeah.
Okay.
2d8. So you get 2 gold pieces, 7 silver pieces, and 8 copper pieces. You can mark those down yourself.
Hey, while the day's still fresh, do you mind if I go work at the see if the blacksmith can use any help for some extra money?
So that is a good idea, but that'll be next time because it is 9 p.m. The day is
Okay.
not fresh at this point.
Oh, yeah. I meant like
and-
more so before nighttime, before everywhere closes.
It would be close. It would be
Okay.
close. I'll
Cool.
go ahead and move us up to 6 a.m. the next day, assuming y'all have rested, and I will go ahead and long rest you. And fortunately for you,
4.
Gambit,
Level
your
4.
health does return.
Yes.
You do go back
yes.
to all your 18 hit points. Y'all are leveling up, so we can do the drag and drop that. I'm gonna go ahead and end the recording. But congrats, y'all have made it. In video game terms, you've effectively made it through those like prologue intro levels.
Nice.
Like in open world.
We finished the
MMOs and
tutorial,
stuff.
guys.
The tutorial was like was Maya scene. This was the
We
prologue.
finished.
Like the first
finished
20
Act
levels of
1.
an MMO. Yeah, the first like 12 or 20 levels of an MMO, Act 1. Y'all finished that. From here on out, the campaign, in large part, is a wherever y'all want to go. You've got an end goal of trying to find all 4 keys. You have your side quests, you have your personal stuff, and it's kind of going to be up to y'all what direction you want to go in, what towns you want to visit, what side quests you want to do. And one thing y'all can do, because some people don't tend to do it, and I want to have y'all y'all get the option, especially because it'll help for Maverick and y'all who want to build or do stuff. You can do downtime. Downtime in Dungeons and Dragons is effectively, if you don't have anything super pressing, or even technically if you do, you can say, we want to spend a week in this town. And not roleplay every day or anything, but say like, we're going to have, like Maverick is going to work 6 days on this magic item. Or Gambit is going to go and try and buy a magic item or sell a magic item, or Garand is going to play or prepare to like try and do a big show or anything like that. Anything you can think of, buy a house, prepare a house, make a magic item, anything that would take time that you wouldn't necessarily roleplay the whole way through, that's what downtime tends to be used for. And since y'all have kind of reached this point, y'all are definitely allowed to, anytime y'all are somewhere, say we want to take X amount of downtime. And we can do that.
I want to take
and-
12 years worth of downtime.
I will, over the next couple days, probably, just say in the Discord, like asking y'all where y'all want to go next. And y'all can discuss in the Discord so I can kind of know where you might want to prep. We could discuss tonight if you'd like, but I know a couple of us have to leave, so I wanted to go ahead and finish the session real quick and end the recording. So I'll go ahead and do that. Thanks for hanging out, stream. Thanks for anyone watching. Goodbye, YouTube, and have a lovely night.
I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye.
Bye.